Would you think about becoming a citizen?
I have considered it, yeah.
Yeah?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
This is your daily dose of all things royal. Oh, goody, goody gumdrops. My gorgeous, good-looking friends, Prince Harry has decided to bless the world with another exclusive interview given to ABC News. Let us go through and rip this scripted interview apart. I am certainly not buying what came out of his mouth today.
It's all part of his and Duchess Meghan's multi-day tour.
Oh, you know Meghan wrote that. She wants to force the world to call her Duchess Meghan. But I'm sorry, the United States should not be feeding into this nonsense.
Multi-day tour of the site of Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025. The couple giving GMA...
Up, there's Meghan having a bitchy moment caught on camera.
Harry's the founding patron of the games.
Let's clear up this propaganda and set the record straight. The Invictus Games is an initiative of the Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and Prince Harry. So it was not just Harry that started this. So let's give credit to where it's due. If the intent is to gaslight America with this, let the American people gaslight them back and light this on fire.
After a brief safety training, we meet competitors at the top.
We are going to be sliding from Maple Leaf Start. We are going to be doing one run from here, reaching up to 100 kilometers an hour. So Arno's first.
Now, don't expect our Duchess of Suing and Sex to be participating in this exercise. We know that she is the non-sportif kind of gal. Well, at least we know that Meghan and Harry got the memo about wearing the Invictus logo. As you can see, Harry is sporting it proudly today. But Meghan, being defiant as always, decides to wear whatever she wants. No shocker there.
Are you quite competitive?
Sometimes. Depends on what it is.
What a question to ask. Are you competitive? Duh. I mean, what have we been witnessing over the last 6 years? His competition with his brother in everything that his brother does. Like, it's so obvious.
Since leaving the royal family nearly 4 years ago, the Duke and Duchess's every move has made headlines. And just last week, an unexpected diagnosis for Harry's father, King Charles.
How did you get the news that the king was ill?
I spoke to him.
And what did you do next?
I jumped on a plane and went to go and see him as soon as I could.
How was that visit for you emotionally?
Watch Harry's body language in his response. As he's saying he loves his family very much, he's shaking his head no. The man has zero empathy and compassion for his family, and it's coming out in this nonverbal way.
Look, I love my family.
Look, I love my family.
The fact that I was able to get on a plane and go and see him and spend any time with him, I'm grateful for that.
What's sort of your outlook on his health?
That stays between me and him.
You notice Harry's face? It drops right here. It's almost like he gets defensive.
Sort of your outlook on his health. That stays between me and him.
An illness in the family can have a galvanizing or sort of reunifying effect for a family.
Absolutely.
Is that possible in this case?
Yeah, I'm sure. Throughout all these families, I see it on a day-to-day basis.
It's clear. Harry wants nothing to do with his family anymore. We've seen it reflected in his actions with this website and this answer. The interviewer specifically saying that an illness can have a unifying effect. And here he's asking, do you think that that's what's happening in this case, meaning with his situation? What Harry does next is deflect it to other families. He totally avoids addressing this situation that he has with his family going on, which tells me that he has now written his family off.
The strength of the family unit coming together.
It's notable that Harry doesn't want to talk about his family in this interview. However, this journalist goes ahead and tries to get him to talk about them in another way.
Just physically being in California, how have you processed the fact that there's so much happening back with your family where you come from?
I have my own family,
Right.
so as we all do,
Yeah.
right? So, my family and my life in California is as it is. I've got other trips planned that would take me through the UK or back to the UK. I'll stop in and see my family as much as I can.
What an asshole thing to say. I have my own family, like everyone else. Almost as if to say, I can't be bothered with worrying about my father or my brother because I have my own invisible family that I'm trying to maintain this facade. Also, too, then why did you go ahead and dedicate the last 6 years of your life in trying to attack this so called family if you're not thinking or worried about them? This just shows how much contempt Harry has for his own family. And quite frankly, I am starting to believe that he is happy with this miserable excuse for a human being that he calls his wife. Why bother to keep this guy in the line of succession? Disinherit this motherfucker.
That's my next question about your family. How's Harry the dad?
How's what?
How's Harry the dad?
I can't tell you. That's classified.
Okay, it's top secret?
It's top secret.
Really?
No, the kids.
Making lunches.
The kids are doing great. The kids are growing up like all kids do, very, very fast. They both got an incredible sense of humour and make us laugh and keep us grounded every single day, like most kids do. So, I'm just.
I don't buy this for 1 second. Harry's being very deceitful here. And in some case, after he finishes it, you can see he has some type of guilt or his conscience is getting at him because he knows he's not spending the time that he needs to be spending with these so-called invisible children. Like, where are they? Wouldn't it have been nice to bring Archie out of the basement so he could touch snow and actually have some fun?
No, the kids.
Making lunches.
The kids are doing great. The kids are growing up like all kids do, very, very fast. They both got an incredible sense of humour and make us laugh and keep us grounded every single day, like most kids do. So
not only was this response generic, but when you stutter this much, you're making shit up. And this right here is a red flag. How can this guy say with a straight face that he's with them every single day when we know that they were without them for a majority of time last year, as they had been traveling everywhere in their mother? Harry knows he's a shit parent. Otherwise, he would not have responded with that dumb response of, oh, it's classified. I'm not buying it for 1 second.
I'm just very grateful to be a dad.
How are you enjoying your time living in the U.S.?
It's amazing. I love every single day.
Harry just lied. He hates America. Look at him shaking his head no. Watch again.
It's amazing. I love every single day.
Do you feel American?
Do I feel American? No, I don't know. I don't know how I feel.
Would you think about becoming a citizen?
I have considered it.
Yeah?
The thought of this really makes me want to vomit.
What would stop you from doing it?
I have no idea. I'm here.
Oh, I could think of one. Trump getting into office next year.
Standing next to this with these guys, the American citizenship is a thought that has crossed my mind, but certainly not something that's a high priority for me right now.
Look, come on, Harry. You could be honest for once. The only reason why he hasn't made that jump to get back at his family by doing that is because he's still in the line of succession. But believe you me, if this guy gets his titles removed and is removed from the line of succession, you better believe that he would go and apply for citizenship out of spite. Oh, and I'm sure another reason would be he doesn't want to pay the taxes, because right now he's like hovering in between two countries, avoiding it.
Aside from Invictus, what's keeping you busy when you're out of the house?
Everything.
Yeah?
Everything in the house, everything outside the house.
What a stupid answer. We know that he's busy with all these lawsuits as well as trying to deal with his wife because she is absolutely exhausting. Always putting out stuff to stir the pot and create drama. This is what this couple is about.
The mission continues. And
what mission is he talking about? The globalist agenda or sabotaging and bringing down the monarchy? Which destructive path are you taking?
Every element of the work continues. And before you know it, February next year, this time in a year's time, we're going to be right here.
Leave in the comment section if you think Invictus is going to get rid of this couple next year, or do you think they'll bring them back because of the publicity that they will bring, whether it be good or bad?
Where do you get the desire to be so involved in helping other people?
I've always had a life of service, and then I get my fix being part of with these guys.
Total and complete shite. This is Harry and Meghan's life of self-service in turning your pain into their profit.
While the cameras here are focused on the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, make no mistake, they're not the ones taking center stage.
These guys are the stars of the show.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay.
So after watching this interview, this is what I gather happened in the 12 minutes that Harry went to see his father. Something is going down. And from what I gather is that there's no path back for Harry with Meghan. And this must make Meghan so extremely happy that she has got Harry all to herself. Meaning that if she decides to leave him, then he really is not going to be able to go back to his family and he will be out on the cold. So he knows this and he's going to stay with her no matter what. She has officially locked him in because this man has no place left to go. So what we're seeing now is this couple completely break off from the family and starting their own so-called Walmart version of a royal lineage here in America, which is kind of silly because it's laughable. Walmart version of this royal lineage beginning here in America, which is laughable because all this is a gimmick. Now, I was watching Murky Meg yesterday talk about this exact same topic, and shout out to Murky Meg for her buttery velvet voice. But one of the points that she made in this video was the complexity surrounding the use of Sussex as Archie's last name and little Betty's last name, and the legalities surrounding it, if there were any. So let's take a look at what the line of succession looked like before the Queen passed away. As you can see, you have the Prince of Wales, which was King Charles, the Duke of Cambridge, which is William, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, Prince Louis, and then we have the Duke of Sussex, which is Harry, and then we had Master Archie Mountbatten Windsor. Now, Mountbatten Windsor, as I understand it, was given as a last name in honoring Prince Philip because he wanted the name Mountbatten to continue on. So this is what I understood this to be. Being that the royal family is special, they don't have regular first and last names. They have these titles. And from what I gather, at the time when the Wales's children were named Cambridge, they were called the Cambridges. And they took on that last name. So for whatever they needed as far as a first and last name, it would be George Cambridge, Charlotte Cambridge, Louis Cambridge. But then since the titles have changed, they've now become George Wales, Charlotte Wales, Louis Wales, and that's how it was listed. Now, Meghan, the Duchess of Suing and Sex, really thought that she was clever by slipping in, oh, we're going to change Archie and little Betty's last name to Sussex because this is how the royal family does this, because they've now become prince and princess. Now, I'm not taking Meghan and Harry's side, but I would like to point this out that they do have a strong argument in calling their children the Sussex children. Because if you go back in time before the devil entered into this family, and before Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie had gotten married and had children, you can see that the styling or the titles that were in the line of succession follows as such, right? So as you can see here, if Prince William wasn't married, he would have been known as the Prince William of Wales, and then you have Prince Henry of Wales. And then following after the parents of the Duke of York, you have Princess Beatrice of York and Princess Eugenie of York. So now when you look at the line of succession today, you can see that it's updated accordingly because of the prince and princess titles. So you have Prince Archie of Sussex and Princess Little Betty of Sussex. In addressing the legalities of it, this is totally legal if Meghan and Harry were living in the UK, meaning if, let's say, Prince Archie was going to school or little Betty was going to school, they would need official last names to be recorded in societal databases if they want to participate and integrate within the regular folk. And because the British royal family is unique and very much integrated and a part of the British fabric, there are naturally accommodations made for whenever we have these title changes or adjustments to the line of succession in the UK. But Meghan and Harry are not in the UK, and we have to remind ourselves that in the United States, we do not have these same accommodations for people that want to just change their last name on the fly. Remember, this Duchess of Suing and Sex is Hollywood. And in Hollywood, there are a lot of people who like to have stage names. Does anybody really believe that Lady Gaga's name is Lady Gaga and that's what she has on her license? No. So, same thing is going to apply to Archie and little Betty when, let's say, they have to go to school or when they have to go see the doctor. Now, for little Betty's case, she was born here in the United States. So, her birth certificate says Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor, which is what would be assigned to the Social Security card that each person here in the United States gets. That number is tied to your legal last name. So if Meghan wants to change her children's name to Sussex, there's a lot of paperwork and stuff that needs to be done in order to make that happen. And it's a very lengthy process. It just doesn't happen like how it does in the UK. The same thing goes for Archie. So if in the UK, Archie is listed as Mountbatten Windsor and Meghan has the birth certificate here, for that kid to do anything, whether it be enroll in school, same thing, go to the doctor, get a passport, she can't just write Archie Sussex down. She has to use Mountbatten Windsor because that is legally binding here in the United States. Meghan and Harry know that the way that they communicated this website out, as well as these changes, was designed to gaslight and piss people off. They know that, and that's why they did it. Meghan and Harry know very well that being controversial is what gets the headlines, and that's why they did it. You would think that the royal family would have learned their lesson by now, but I think we're getting to a point where they need to remove those titles because this is not going to stop. And where I see Meghan and Harry taking this is now to monetize and to make money off of the royal brand, something that was stated by the Queen in the very beginning for them not to do. And this is exactly what they're doing. Just because they're not using the HRH, they are still using their association with the royal family, now with changing Archie and little Betty's last name to Sussex, because technically they're still in the line of succession and they are still counting on that. In my personal opinion, I think it's in the best interest for the monarchy to remove Harry as well as those kids from the line of succession, as well as strip any titles that may have been gifted to them, to make them just regular Mr. and Mrs. Mountbatten Windsor to live their life in America, following American rules. Yeah, after watching this interview, I'm getting the vibe that Harry wants nothing anymore to do with his family. He doesn't care for them, and he certainly is not thinking about them. So I think the family needs to cut ties and be done with it. They shouldn't allow this guy and his bitch wife to continue to keep stirring up controversy and drama to tarnish the monarchy brand, because that's exactly what they're doing at this point, especially if they continue to use the prince and princess title for their kids and monetize that. Now, let me leave you with this final thought, and you tell me what you guys think in the comment section. I guess the biggest question that I have is, why does the monarchy allow this circus to continue? Had they stripped the titles from the very beginning and cut them firmly off, then I think things would be a bit different. But because they are still tied to the monarchy, not only on the website, but also officially in this line of succession, doesn't matter what they do, they're still going to be seen connected to this very powerful family. And what we will see are continued opportunities. Like we look at Invictus and you think to yourself, why do they continue to have these two back? Well, not only do they bring attention to the organization, whether it be good or bad, nevertheless, they bring the attention because of their association with the royal family. If the royal family firmly cuts them off and says, enough's enough, what you've done was wrong, and we want nothing to do with you, you're on your own, see you later, good luck, I guarantee these opportunities that are continuously being given to them will stop. The only thing that I can think of is that Meghan has something on this family, or even worse, they're fearing Harry might retaliate and reveal some secrets that were never heard before. I think it could be both, But I also think, who's going to believe these two since they've lost so much credibility as is? I mean, even if Harry prints a spare 2.0, then we think that, yeah, it will damage the monarchy, even if it is filled with lies, because there are people that believe spare 1.0. So, like, what are they afraid of? I think they need to just cut them loose and brace for the worst, because what's the worst that can happen that already hasn't happened? I mean, if the biggest thing was their fear of Meghan calling them racist, well, she did that. I also do have a hard time believing that the family would be afraid of Meghan because they have all the resources in the world to get rid of her, in the sense of, information as well as legal. They could slap a lawsuit on her that would be ending for her. So, you have to think, why do they allow this circus and embarrassment to continue to go on? Because it is affecting their brand. Like, I find that you can't deny that some of the magic and mystique of the royal family has been taken away as a result of these two. And in addition, I'm not going to excuse Andrew either. But what do you guys think? I'm looking forward to reading these comments. But as always, I will be back with more content. But until then, please be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Such a fraud.